The starting lineup for the fifth and deciding game of the American League Championship Series. First for the Eastern Division champion New York Yankees. Here's the manager, Billy Martin.
A tough decision he had to make today. We'll tell you about that in a moment.
Leading off in center field, number 17, Mickey Rivers.
He got a lot of hits, but he started up again, asking to be traded.
At second base, number 30, Willie Randolph. The catcher, number 15, Thurman Munson.
Having another good playoff.
Proving he's the leader.
In left field, number 14, Lou Piniella. The designated hitter, number 41, Cliff Johnson.
You ever seen a guy happier to be here than him?
At third base, number 9, Greg Nettles. At first base, number 10, Chris Chambliss.
He and Nettles have got to get the bats going.
Sir.
In right field, number 2, Paul Blair.
There's your story.
That's the surprise.
The shortstop, number 20, Bucky Dent. And warming up in the bullpen, the Yankees' starting pitcher, number 49, Ron Guidry.
A kid that'll be going on sheer guts today. After
And here's
pitching
the
just
rest
2
of the
days
Yankee
ago.
coaches, team members, and trainers. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Western Division champion Kansas City Royals. Here's the Royals manager, number 24, Whitey Herzog.
He's made all the right moves in this championship series so far.
Leading off the shortstop, number 2, Fred Patek.
And what a series he's having. He's leading both clubs in hits with 7 and RBIs with 5.
In left field, number 11, Hal McRae. At third base, number 5, George Brett. In right field, number 18, Al Cowan.
He's going to get his share of MVP votes in the American League this year.
In center field, number 26, Amos Otis. At first base, number 12, John Watson.
Here's another story. Both managers had tough decisions, which we'll talk about in more detail.
The
But
designated hitter,
benching.
number 1, Cookie Rojas.
How about this? Hasn't been the bat in this championship series yet. Maybe a little sentiment attached to this move by
The
Herzog.
catcher, number 15, Darrell Porter. At second base, number 20, Frank White.
He's gotten a few key hits. He's not been just a defensive player in this championship series.
And warming up in the bullpen, the Royals' starting pitcher, number 34, Paul Splitor. And here's the rest of the Royal coaches, team members, and trainers. Ladies and gentlemen, an invitation from the Royals to stand, salute the colors as presented by the U.S. Navy Color Guard, and enjoy the Wentworth Military Academy Band as it accompanies Kansas State University vocalist Michael Life as he sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare
are first and foremost. I think the important thing is that the manager puts the 9 or 10, counting the designated hitter, best players on the field he thinks can do the job. And this is what Billy Martin did, and I'm going to stick behind his decision. And, you know, I'm not all in favor of it, but let's remember one thing. It's not the easiest thing in the world for him to do to sit me down.
And that was Reggie Jackson talking about the benching, kind of a side aspect of that. Billy Martin asked two of his players, closest friends of Reggie, to tell him because it would have been just easier for his friends than for Billy, which is kind of a unique way of doing it, Tony. Here's the lineup for the New York Yankees. Mickey Rivers leads it off for the Yankees. Rivers has 7 base hits in this series. He's in center field. Randolph at second base has 4 base hits. He will be followed by Thurman Munson. Behind the plate, Munson is 5 for 16 with 4 RBIs. He leads the Yankees in RBIs. Pinella is in left field, 5 base hits for Sweet Lou. Cliff Johnson is a designated hitter. He is 5 for 13 in the championship series. Greg Nettles is at third base. Nettles is 3 for 16. Chambliss at first base, 1 for 13. Paul Blair is in right field. He is 1 for 1. Bucky Dent is at shortstop. Bucky Dent is 2 for 11. They'll be going against Paul Splittorff.
And unlike Ron Guidry, Paul Splittorff has been able to prepare himself for the last few days for this starting assignment. He has 11 wins, 5 losses lifetime versus the Yankees. He pitched game number 1. And he said, I'm ready, which is obvious. But he has had the proper time to recondition his arm and his mind.
So Mickey Rivers leads it off, and let's see if he follows the pattern of jumping on the first pitch. Strike 1. The ball game is underway. The Dodgers defeated the Phillies last night. They are the National League champions. Strike 2. He missed it. Mickey Rivers made some news today. He put in the paper saying he's going to ask to be traded. These Yankees, I'll tell you, brother, they're just not satisfied playing.
As soon as Mr. Steinbrenner got back in town, he was away yesterday.
2-strike pitch. High. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Splittorff with the basic pitches, fastball. He runs it into the left-handed hitters. Slider, curveball, straight change of pace. But he has got to have his control, which he's had an awful lot of the last few months.
Took him out.
That's a hard slider by Splittorff. If he keeps it down there, he is awfully tough. Watch this pitch. Yeah, I guess you're not going to watch that pitch.
Batting second, here it is.
No balls, 2 strikes. He didn't waste one, which is hard to do off Randolph's slider, low and away.
Outside, ball 1 on Randolph. Randolph is 4 for 15. He's been hit about as many times as hits he's made. He's really had a series physically. 1 ball, 1 strike. The plate umpire is Nick Premigan. First base is Bill Deegan. Jerry Newdecker's at second. Springstead at third. Russ Getz in left field. Jim McKean is in right field. Ball game just underway. 1 ball, 1 strike on Willie Randolph. 1 out. Out of play. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball. Is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience in any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. 1-2 pitch. Low, 2-2.
He has thrown some fastballs about as hard as I've seen Splittorff throw. 1 to Rivers and 1 to Randolph. This hometown crowd in Kansas City really has this team high.
Contact, big hop. 2 out.
That's the other story down there at first base. John Walton, as Joe told you, playing in place of John Mayberry, who left the ball game yesterday. Contact been about as good as any player in this series all around.
I think if you had to vote on most valuable player, he'd be right on top, if not the top. Thurman Munson is the batter. Munson 5 for 16, 1 home run, 4 runs batted in, and once again he has proven that he, without a doubt, is the leader of this Yankee ball club. He can play. Game 5. Boy, it all comes down to this game. Win it, you're in the World Series. Lose it, and you'll watch it. Lou Piniella, the on-deck batter. Hot smash in the hole. Patek, long throw. In time, what a play he made.
To get him on his home field, that little guy right there is about as good as anybody in baseball. Look at the strong throw pushing off the right foot. He was playing very deep, and Munson runs well.
So that ends the top of the first. We go to the middle of the first. It is no score. The lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Patek leads it off at shortstop. 7 base hits out of 13 times at bat. 5 runs batted in for the little guy. McRae is in left field. 5 for 14, having a tremendous series along with Patek. George Brett is at third. He's 5 for 17. Al Cowens in right field. 3 base hits, 15 times at bat. Amos Otis is in center field. 1 for 13. Waltham at first base is 0 for 4. Rojas is the designated hitter. He is yet to bat in the series. Darrell Porter, the catcher, 4 for 11. Frank White is at second base, 4 for 14.
Ron Guidry, as we'll see him in slow motion with the crowd standing here in Kansas City trying to spur Freddie Patek on. Guidry pitched the second ball game. He had 5 days rest before that game. He pitched the 3-hitter.
Bucky Dent, long throw, 1 out.
I think it's interesting, the research that Alan Roth did for us, the numbers of days rest between starts all season long that Guidry has.
I'm going to read those numbers for you, and just these are the days in between as Hal McRae comes up. The rest that he's had are 4, 5, 3, 8, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, 6, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, and 5. Not once, Tony. 2.
No.
The least he's had is 3 days rest, and that was only 1 time.
Herman Munson did what he said. As soon as Guidry got out of that cart to bring in, he was going to have a pep talk ready for him, which was going to be, I do not want you to pace yourself. You come out there and throw as hard as you can, as long as you can. Don't worry about going the distance. Take it inning by inning, pitch by pitch, as hard as you can go.
1-1 pitch. Low ball 2. 2 balls in the strike.
Surprisingly, Joe, Munson told me that he was not worried about the Guidry fastball. He said, I'm worried about the slider. Will he have enough left in his arm to pull down on it and get that extra snap at the end? Because if he doesn't, he's in trouble.
That was the slider right there. You could tell by the way McRae swung at it. He started to go after it outside, and it broke in on his handle. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, no score. We're in the bottom of the first. Foul back.
Another thing they're counting on with Guidry is he has the mental approach of a relief pitcher. He pitched in relief for Cloyd Boyer at Syracuse, and he knows what it is to pitch every day for 4 or 5 days in a row.
Ball 3. Full count on Hal McRae. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, and I think another factor, Tony, the adrenaline has to be really flowing because this is it. The on-deck batter is George Brett. Fouled out of play. Count remains full at 3-2.
Munson said another thing. He said, I have never caught a young pitcher who comes at hitters like Guidry does, who is as aggressive. He said, I guess you have to go back to Whitey Ford on the Yankee ball club before you can think of a little left-hander like this.
Pitch. Out of play. McRae spoils another one.
He's throwing hard because McRae's a little bit late on him.
McRae, who stands a long way from the plate and likes to go to the opposite field, and they shade him that way. Rivers is in right center. Blair in right field near the line. There's a good shot of him. McRae edging out of the batter's box practically. Out of play again. 3-2, 3 fastballs, and he's fouled them off.
Guidry's got pretty good control. In fact, he pitched 3 no-walk complete games during the season. 2 of them were shutouts.
Here he comes.
Bouncing ball, Bucky Dent. Quick hop, quick throw. Not in time. McRae can run. Bucky Dent played as quickly as he can, as you see. He couldn't get it on the first hop. He makes as good a throw as possible. McRae beats it out. He's been something on the base path in this series, McRae.
George Brett. Brett 5 for 17. He's hit 1 triple. He has driven in a run. No score. We're in the bottom of the first.
And will they try to take advantage of the Munson throwing arm early in the ball game? Herzog's plan has been that although Thurman has thrown very well, very accurately so far this championship series.
I'll tip for strike 1. Crowd is really up. They've been cheering from the very first moment they came into the ballpark. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out. No score.
Gibby doesn't have anything tricky over to first base in the way of the move. That's McRae being held by Chambliss. But he's kind of quick going home. He doesn't take a lot of time letting loose the ball, so he'll give Munson a pretty good shot.
It is a foul ball. A foul ball. Foul ball. First base umpire Bill Deegan, right straddle the line, waited until the last possible moment and threw those big arms up into foul territory, indicating foul ball. I believe McRae would have been able to score on that one.
Boy, he sure would. Although with Paul Blair out there today in place of Reggie Jackson, Blair, an exceptional outfielder, he might have got to it in time.
It was a tough time on the bench for Billy Martin, answering all the newspaper men as we look at Paul Blair in right field. It was a tough time for Reggie Jackson, who spent some 20 minutes answering questions. A tough decision here in Game 5. 1-2 pitch. Low ball 2.
You know, on top of all that, it was a tribute to Cliff Johnson, who's the DH today, because Johnson has played some first base. There's Reggie next to Fran Healy. Ellie Howard is the man who told Reggie he was not playing. Billy said this in the pregame press conference. I know Reggie, he said, well enough, he'll be cheering on, and he may still use 1 swipe of the bat to help him.
Right center field. Mickey Rivers chasing it hard. He cannot get it. Here comes McRae. He will score easily. Brett is playing for 3 to throw. Safe. And that's the fight.
Yes,
there
sir.
it is. It didn't take long. Here they come. The explosion was expected, and it came very early. Both teams. The bullpen is coming out of right field. The bullpen out of left field. And the cap came off the dynamite.
Brett never stopped. He just kept on going to challenge the arms that they've been doing the entire silly. There is Billy closest to you. With him, I believe, is Freddie Patek. Look at this. Let's both stay out of this little guy. Davey Nelson with Billy. It is calmed down. The umpires are weaving their way throughout that crowd, trying to settle it down. It was a hard slide by Brett. Could not see the tag by Nettles. He was called safe by the third base umpire, Springstead. So you can see how the bad blood continues between these 2 ball clubs. 1 game left. It's going to decide it all for the American League pennant. Now Billy's going back.
Well, you can believe that they had it all pretty well made up. Brett came out with fire in his eyes and the first chance. He was going to even a score.
Billy now, I believe, is over to Whitey Herzog down to the lower right with the umpire and the catcher, Munson. I'm sure the umpires are meeting right now saying, okay, guys, cool it right now. There's Hersey, number 24.
If you were with us in the beginning of the show, we showed you some of the aggressiveness. And as Tony said, it went way beyond aggressiveness. And here it exploded. Usually a baseball fight, nobody gets hurt because they're all pushing and shoving and clawing, but this one I think was for real.
Certainly was. It all started with McRae on first base after the infield single. Mickey Rivers might have misjudged the ball a little bit. It got out of his grasp. McRae is scoring while this is happening. Blair comes way over. The relay now is to Willie Randolph. What's the slide? That's the key. Here's Brett. And now watch him come up. The arm into the chest of Nettles. Nettles didn't like it, kicked him back, and here comes Brett. He didn't want to take anything like that. Hiller trying to be a peacemaker.
Guidry's right in the middle of it.
Springstead trying to stop him immediately. But a little elbow, a little kick, and that triggered it all. They are still filing back to the bullpen areas in right and left field.
The bullpen, they came out of right field, they came out of left field, they came from all over. And now plate umpire Nick Bremigan is walking out to Ron Guidry. I'm sure he's going to give him some warm-up tosses. The situation is 1-0. Kansas City out in front. There's one out. George Brett is on third with the triple. The batter is Al Cowens.
It's an old story, but it may be appropriate in this situation because Kenny Brett was a pitcher for Billy at one time, and Billy said some things about Kenny that George didn't like. They went at it last year during the season, during the championship series. Infield's in.
Well, the crowd that didn't need any stirring up is plenty stirred up right now. Al Cowens, who got 3 hits in the first game, and his last one was a home run, is now 0 for 11 in this championship series. In the batter's box now, he's the 4th place hitter. Brett's at third. It's a strike.
You know, Stroll, the one thing that might be a blessing so far in this series about this is that the pitchers have not gotten in on it. They have not started any head hunting. The umpires have controlled that beautifully. But it continues to be pretty raucous out on the base pass.
Oh, they're playing near the gas tank, though, Tony. You knew it was going to go off.
Now they're playing for the possibility of $25,000 World Series share.
Strike 2, a fastball by Guidry, and he's quickly out in front. 2 strikes on Al Cowens. 1 man out. Brett is at third. 1-0. McRae able to score on the triple by George Brett. Guidry, of course, looking for the strikeout. The mark of the good pitcher. What does he do with the man on third? Less than 2 outs, and that's the situation. Bouncy ball. Here comes Brett. The play will be at first. 2-0. Kansas City. That contact play that Herzog talked about.
Sure is. It's make contact with 2 strikes. We mentioned that in our pregame show yesterday. It's worked a couple of times in the championship series. Official surface. Chop it in the dirt. Nettles takes a glance. Knew he didn't have a chance. He gets Cowens.
Number 26.
Here's the guy who made the play. Look at the walking lead by Brett. No hesitation at all, Joe. He just went on in. Well, he might have had a shot if he'd have gone home. Now that I look on the replay.
I don't know, Tony. That's a bit deceiving because he was really running from the very beginning. And I think Herzog's contact play, they're working on Brett much like a corner man would work on a fighter. He's all right. Herzog teaches that as soon as that ball hits that artificial surface, it's going to bounce high enough that if you've made up your mind to break, you're going to make it. Strike 1.
So it's not only the artificial surface, that dirt part is pounded down before every ball game, and it will be advantageous to the Royals hitters because of their speed and the way they hit down on the ball. It is like concrete on the dirt surface also.
Otis. Otis is 1 for 13. That was a big pinch hit double. Bunted down the third base line. Going to be tough. Here's a throw. Not in time.
sure has not rattled the Royals. Otis really went up there thinking, and he caught Nettles back. He just took his time. Nettles was way back at third base. Guidry made a good try coming way down to the third baseline. Otis shows his speed.
Kansas City Royals with John Waltham up their lead 2-0. They're trying to get that message to the Yankees that you're in our ballpark and we're going to dominate you. Big lead by Otis. High, ball one. You got to believe that he's going to run. And if I had to pick a pitch, I'd pick it right now.
23 stolen bases during the year, caught just 7 times.
Draws a throw. And Kansas City 2. Yankees nothing.
You're going to see the move. You're going to see the move exactly the way Otis will see it from Guidry, and the umpire will see the play. He's got a handheld camera down, lining you up between first base and the pitcher's rubber.
Waltham looking for his first base hit. He finished strong, though. He's the second-string catcher. Didn't play much early part of the season. Whitey used him quite a bit towards the end. Big lead. Foul back. Otis is marking his lead. He was able to get 1 foot on the artificial surface, which is always a pretty good barometer as to the lead. And when Guidry looked at him, Otis didn't even move. Usually they fake you back. He's got a good lead. 1-1 the count. Holding. Strike 2. He's throwing hard. I think the mood of this game has been set here in this first inning, and I'm not talking about the fight. I'm talking about the way they're playing it. Triples, bunts, running, sliding. It'll be a tough game. There goes Otis.
What a jump.
Struck him out. He had a tremendous jump. I doubt if Munson would have been able to get him, but that ends the inning on a strikeout. Kansas City at the end of 1 full inning, 2-0 over the Yankees. Whitey Herzog looking on. Hank Soar, American League umpire, in the dugout, as always, as Lou Piniella leads it off for the Yankees. 2-0. Royals lead. Ball one. The Yankees trying for their 31st pennant. The Royals trying for a brand new one. It'll be the first time for them. And both clubs really battling. Strike.
Well, got a good series. He's been over 300. Got 2 runs batted in. Yankee power has been missing. Yesterday, you might recall, that wind was blowing out almost a gale to right field. Nobody could get the ball in the air. Today, it's blowing slightly out to left field. Little breeze.
There you see it. Base hit. Left center field. Otis over fast. Piniella, a big turn. Heading for second. Here's the throw. Not in time. Double. He kind of looped that ball, Otis did, and with that, Piniella headed for second and made it, I would say, fairly easily.
Amos Otis was playing about straight away, and when the ball was hit, he actually took 2 steps to his left. He started going the other way and then had to backtrack. He thought Piniella would go that low outside pitch the opposite way.
For Piniella, that's his 6th base hit, 6 for 17. He's had a good series. Here is Cliff Johnson. Johnson. Johnson is 5 for 13. Got 1 double, 1 home run, 2 runs batted in. Nobody out. They move him back, which is the usual pattern. Johnson and McRae got into a shouting contest in batting practice.
They were joking, and a lot of the writers put it as being serious.
This guy here, he's always needling somebody, and he was giving it pretty good to McRae, and they wrote it as if it was a big fight was going to start about going under the tunnel, and the last that was seen as we look at Nettles was McRae laughing and running away from Johnson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2, curveball.
So far offensively, the Yankees and Royals in this series. The Yankees before today at 16 runs, the Royals 19. Hits about equal to the 30s. The Yankees average-wise are doing better, but they're just not scoring the amount of runs so far the Royals have. The Royals have advanced base runners so well, taking advantage of weak throwing arms at times.
High fly ball, right center field. Cowens and Otis. It's Cowens taking charge. Piniella tags up, but he'll not be going anywhere. Cowens can throw. Otis can throw. 1 out. Tony, you can bet that Tom Lasorda, as we look at Billy Martin, Lasorda got all his congratulations on the way and is watching this ball game right now.
Yeah, I think we congratulated the Dodgers, which they did such a fine job, and Tommy all year long, and the Phillies had one heck of a season. You can't forget them.
Sure can.
Carpenters, Paul Owens, Danny Ozark. Of course, the players.
Greg Nettles. Nettles 3 for 16. Got 1 RBI.
Strike 1. The big 3 left-handed hitters, that's the only RBI among the 3. I'm talking about Chambliss, Reggie Jackson, and Nettles. That was a big one by Nettles yesterday. Sent home what turned out to be the winning run.
Bouncing ball to Frank White. He's got it. 2 outs. Piniella takes third.
John Watson playing down at first base. We told you that Mayberry left the game yesterday. He had a toothache and had some medication. He wasn't seeing too well. He had that tooth pulled. He wasn't ready today. That's part of it. He also has not been hitting well. So John Watson is starting at first base.
Chris Chambliss. 1 for 13.
Piniella's really getting on split arm for this third base spot. The umpires are saying stay off him. There was an argument down there. He got on split arm, but split arm flipped over, and then Springstead got in it.
Well, Lewitt had an argument with Springstead in the outfield. That's what you're hearing the reaction of the crowd. They're going at it pretty good. Springstead has moved in now. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Piniella's at third. 2-0. We're in the top of the second. Kansas City's leading. Down the left field line, but foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball, Patek should have no problem. There's the throw. That's it, in time. Inning is over. Yankees do not score. We go to the middle of the second inning. It's Kansas City 2, New York nothing. In case you missed them, those amazing Jets beat Buffalo 24-19 today. Oakland 26, Cleveland 10. New England Patriots 31-0 over Seattle. Cincinnati 17-7. So Bart Starr loses another one, Tony. Look at this one. Baltimore 45, Miami 28. Houston, here's a dandy. 27-10 over the Steelers. 14-0 San Diego over New Orleans. And Philadelphia beat the Giants 28-10. Minnesota Vikings 14-7 over the Lions. And Denver beat Kansas City 23-7. Cookie Rojas. High, ball 1.
Ordinarily, Joe Zeb would be playing out in left field today, but he is 0 for 9 in the series, and Herzog said he's pressing. He said, I'm going to the old pro, Rojas.
There's the strike. Cookie had announced his retirement, so unless Kansas City wins, this will be his last game.
First at bat.
1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cookie, 38 years old. Billy Martin.
He's on the umpire. As is Reggie. Left center field. Piniella over. Does he make the play? Yes, he does. The center field, the second base umpire, Jerry Neudecker, was out there in center field watching the play, and Piniella comes up with quite a play. I think he lost that in the lights for a while, and then he picked it up. He lost the ball to Sun the other day. You can see the expression. He just barely gets the glove between it and the artificial surface. Good recovery by Lou. Brings up Darrell Porter, one man out. Neudecker really hustled to get out there. Porter, 4 for 11. Ball one. Two balls, no strikes. I'm sure you football fans are probably looking for your favorite team. We got 3 more scores to give you, which we will. Tap foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dallas beat St. Louis 30-24. Washington 10-0 over Tampa Bay. And Atlanta beat the 49ers 7-0. And there's a rundown for the football fans. 3-1 the count on Darrell Porter. Darrell Porter, from spring training on, was under the wings of Charlie Lau, the hitting instructor, and he says that Charlie taught him to hit the ball the opposite way a little bit. One hop, right through Randolph. He tried to short hop it, couldn't come up with it. Let's see how they rule it. It's a base hit.
Number 20, Mike White, second base.
So Porter is on. Say one thing, Joe, it didn't take the Royals long this ballgame to turn the momentum around that the Yankees brought into this game off the strength of yesterday's victory. From behind the scoreboard are Creepy. That's a long way out there. It's 410 to the center field fence as Frank White steps in there. White is 4 for 14. Royals 2, Yankees nothing. Bottom of the second, there's his strike. Billy Martin had a meeting with his pitching staff and pitching coaches Fowler and Boyer before this ball game, and he went one by one and asked who could pitch if he needed them, and they all said they could, including Gullett, which surprised me, and Captain. Left field, Piniella going back, has room, makes the catch. Piniella elected to backtrack rather than turn, had plenty of room. So there are 2 away. Here is Fred Potek. Hit the first pitch, bounced out to the shortstop. He has had a super series. 7 for 14, an even 500. 3 doubles, a triple, 5 runs batted in. And the best all-around player in this series. Takes the strike. Something Charlie said he finally convinced Potek and Frank White to do is to take more pitches. He said they have found that a lot of pitchers don't throw strikes in the first pitch, and they've been ahead in the count quite often. Foul straight back, strike 2 on Potek. There's all kinds of theories on why you should take a pitch as we look at Darrell Porter. Some people say you take the pitch, and if it's a strike, at least if it's a good fastball, you know how hard he can throw. And if it's a bad ball, as you just mentioned, you're ahead of him. Two strikes to count on Potek. 2-0. Royals lead, bottom of the second. It's popped up. Munson may have room. Coming back. Should make the play. He does. Potek fouls out. That ends the inning. At the end of 2 complete innings. It's Kansas City 2, New York nothing.
My name is Halston. I'm known for the clothes I design.
4 o'clock, the Jets at Miami, New England, San Diego, and Denver at Oakland. Big game as Blair lines one foul.
So it starts with NFL 77, 12:30 Eastern Time. Denver versus Oakland. That's going to be a beauty. Those Jets are amazing. They're playing the Dolphins. So check your local listing for the game in your area. Hot smash. Brett up with it. Long throw. It's high. Out. He's starting to call him safe, but Blossom, a good play, came down on the bag. And I think that made it, Tony. A good call by Bill Deegan. Watch his foot come down on that bag. Otherwise, Blair would have made it.
Good play is right. He hasn't played a whole lot of first base. Filling in for Mayberry today. He's played some right field for the club this year. He's caught this year. He's DH. Very valuable man to Herzog.
No, one away, and here is Bucky Dent. It's low, ball one. Deegan was all set, you could see. Made motion safe, but then those size 12s, there wasn't. Came right down on the bag, and it was a great play by first baseman. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Splittorf's got an 8-game winning streak going. He finished the season, the regular season, 7-game streak. Won the first game of this series. Last time he lost was Kansas, let's see, against California, August 8th.
1-1 pitch. It's the strike, a beautiful slow curveball. Tony and I saw Splittorf in the elevator, and his mother was quoted as saying she didn't think he should start this series because of his record, but after that first game, she thought it was all right. 1-2 pitch. It is fast, foul ball.
Splittorf has outstanding control of all 4 of the basic pitches. He spots the fastball, usually keeps it down low. He will not throw it down the center of the plate too often. He's on the corners. Hard slider. Changes speed well as curve as he did the last time, Bill.
There's the slider. It's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yesterday on the scoreboard, they were wishing him happy birthday. He was 31 years old yesterday. Paul Splittorf. 2-0. Kansas City leading. Right field. Cowan. 2 outs. So Bucky Dent flies to Al Cowens, and it brings up Mickey Rivers, who was out on strikes his first time up.
He's had a 3-hit ball game. They lost the Yankees, a 4-hit ball game, and they won yesterday, and he's been hitless in the 2 others.
Outside, ball 1. Single by McRae, a triple by Brett. Bouncy ball by Collins. The Royals have their 2 runs. Up the middle, another base hit. That curveball hung, and Rivers just waited for it and sent it right back from where it came. So Rivers is on, and we'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is KGW-TV, Channel 8, Portland.
Willie Randolph. Randolph bounced out his first time up. Curveball is low, ball 1.
Rivers hasn't been getting a very good lead most of this series down at first base. He's got a short one again.
Bouncing ball foul. Dick Hauser at third makes the play.
Marty Herzog said of Rivers that if he had him on his ball club, he would guarantee Rivers would steal between 80 and 100 bases every year. He would let him go on his own biggest pitches. Billy Martin's philosophy, the opposite. He wants to control it down there. Tell Rivers when he wants him to go.
There he goes. He picked a good pitch, a slow curve. They had no chance to get him. He went off the bag, it looked like, but no, says the umpire at second base, Newdecker. He slid in very hard, but he picked a perfect pitch, Tony, a slow curve.
He sure did. You can see how slow Paul Splittorf is. There was just no contest for Darrell Porter, with White coming over to make the tag. There's another angle. He just outruns the baseball, that's all he does. He doesn't have to get a good jump to steal a base.
He was watching it all the way, too. Look at here. He almost comes off the bag here. He slid very hard into second base. Mickey Rivers, who during the season stole 22 bases in 36 attempts, steals a base here with 2 outs. Kansas City leading 2-0. We're in the top of the third. 2 balls and 1 strike to count on Randolph. Curveball inside for beauty. Gage speed just beautifully. Nothing Randolph could do except watch it float across.
Second stolen base for the Yankees in the championship series. Reggie Jackson stole the other. Royals have been 3 of 5.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Outside, curveball misses, and you know the split arc wants to get him because the on-deck batter is Thurman Munson. Munson's got to be the toughest out in the lineup. There you see him.
General feeling among the press before the ballgame, and I think some of the players, was that the Yankees would have to score a pile of runs to win this ballgame today because of their tired pitching staff.
High ball 4, he walked in, so he puts the tying run on, and Thurman Munson is the batter. Munson bounced out short to first his first time up. Munson is 5 for 17 with 4 runs batted in. He's a tough out in this situation.
So I got to believe for at least 1 pitch or 1 swing, Munson's going to be looking for something inside that he can take downtown. He doesn't have to worry about the double play with 2 outs. He wants something inside that he can get up into the wind to left field.
They're going to check the ball. There'd be all kinds of guessing going on, Tony. I would agree with you. Splitharp has been very successful with that change of speed pitch, and Munson will push that ball into right center field because even though many times you'll see him stride, he's got that bat back. He's got good bat control.
Splitharp's going to be keeping everything away. Maybe show him 1 pitch bad inside.
Fastball is outside.
Splitharp throws 2 fastballs. One with the seams that will go away from the right-handed hitter. Then he will run one in across the seam. That's when he comes inside at times. But I got to believe he's going to stay away all the way on Munson.
Great picture of Splitharp as we look at Porter flashing the signs. Right field, base hit. We may have a battle. Cowens to throw to the plate. Here comes Rivers. The throw is off target. It's 2-1. Munson drives in the Yankee run with a single into right field. And for Munson, that's his 5th RBI. And it's a 2-1 ball game.
Bobby Cox talking to Thurman after a key hit. He is the most confident guy in this Yankee ball club. He never gets down on himself, Munson. There's the bench. Dal Alston, one of the reserves. Rivers, Roy White. And the bullpen gets going now for Kansas City.
Willie Randolph stops at second. Munson is at first. 2-1. Royals lead. And here comes Galen Cisco.
Cisco played in a Rose Bowl. Was a fullback at Ohio State. Played for Woody Hayes. Then he went both ways. He said, what you read about Woody in the paper is not true half the time. He's a wonderful man. Doug Bird, Herzog said he'd come with Birdie early. Splitharp got in trouble.
Splitharp. He looks like the kid that would get 100 in chemistry. Lou Piniella doubled his first time up, hit the ball more towards center field than left field. Otis looped it, and Piniella ended up with a double. Fouls it straight back. He had a good cut at a fastball. And when you see those hitters dance like that, Piniella would like to say something like, bring that one back again. How can I miss that pitch?
That picture will tell you with a shaking of the head what he thought about missing that pitch.
You'd be surprised how many times hitters will talk to themselves, ask themselves questions, sometimes stump themselves. Fastball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hank Sauer used to do that. How can you take that pitch? I don't know why I took that pitch. Well, don't take it. I won't take it. And he's talking to himself. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lou Piniella. 2-1 to score. Kansas City's out in front. We're in the third. On at second base is Randolph. At first base is Munson.
Pinella was platooned or DH'd early in the year, but he won the job with the red-hot last 2 months of the season.
Foul out of play, right side. Good arm. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Lou was talking about how well the Royals have pitched him. He said, I've gotten my hits, but they have never thrown me the same pitch in consecutive times at bat. They work me inside one time, they'll go away the next time, throw me fastballs one time, breaking balls the next. He said, I guess they know I guess the pitches.
The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. That was to set up this pitch. It'll be interesting to watch it here because Split-Arfer wanted to happen here, 2-2. He doesn't want to run that count to 3-2 as we look at Whitey Herzog. The high fastball was to set up this one. Randolph's at second, Munson's at first, 2 outs. Bouncing ball to Brett. He's going to go to first. Long throw in time. Pinella is out. Brett to Watson that ends the inning, but we go to the middle of the 3rd inning. It is Kansas City 2, New York 1. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Kansas City. 1-3-0 for the Yankees, and it'll be Hal McRae, George Brett, and Al Cowens. The middle of that Kansas City lineup is McRae, who beat out an infield hit and then scored on the triple by Brett. Brett scored as Cowens was being thrown out at first. McRae has had a great series. Well hit left field. Pinella over fast, but he cannot get it. It'll be at least a double as McRae hits for second base. And brother, does he have it down pat as far as doubles here. That is his 3rd double in this series. He had 54 in the regular season. It looked like he hit the slider that Munson was worried about. Yes, he did. That just kind of rolled and didn't really drop down. And he hit it hard to left field. Pinella knows he's got the double. He's trying to save the triple the way the Royals have been running the bases. That's bullpen sparing now, Joe, for the Yankees. And now George Brett, who every time has been able to hit the ball to the right side. If he doesn't get the base hit, gets the ground ball and moves McRae over. Takes it outside. Ball 1.
Billy was hoping he could get 4 or 5 strong innings from Guidry.
And a good cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brett tripled his first time up. He becomes the first player ever to hit 2 triples in 1 series. He had 13 of them in the regular season, which was 4th in the American League. Fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Now in game 3, we saw the game the Royals won. The Royals execute so well. 8 or 9 situations. There's McRae at second. When they had him advance the base runner, sacrificed over. Brett did it twice in that game. He does it
hits
again.
the bouncing ball. Chambliss to Guidry. They just do get Brett. McRae moves on over to third. He does the job, Tony.
Well, it'll force the Yankee infield again with this 1-run lead, and Hiller's immediately having a talk. Here's the play. Chambliss to Guidry. They get him, but Brett does the job once again, and out comes Billy Martin. It's interesting as we look at Billy Martin. Herzog was saying before the game, there is the warm-up action. Looks like Mike Torres. Torres begins to throw. He says his arm's sound. He was down loosening up yesterday. He told Billy after he started the 3rd game, I can give you something in the 4th game, and he's up again today.
Kansas City Ball Club, I tell you, they are really fundamentally sound, Tony.
No, it's no secret how or why they do it. Whitey Herzog, we see him now, the same before the game. If I go out there and see my players have a bad infield practice, and they all are expected to take infield practice if they're playing that day, or a bad batting practice where they don't try something, we have a meeting and we stop it. The old theory, you play the way you practice.
There is Whitey Herzog. It's a loose ball club. They got all kinds of practical jokers. They have that gong, which they give to the fellas after a victory. Munson out talking to Guidry. This situation in the 1st inning, McRae was on, or Brett was on at 3rd. And count, did a bouncy ball, and Brett scored. Now it's McRae who's on at third. Infield is in. 2-1. Royals leading. Base hit, left field. 3-1, Kansas City. McRae scores easily.
You got a string of 3 right-hand hitters coming up now, starting with Otis, and here comes Martin, I believe. Well, he's going to make a change. He goes to Torres. Guidry, they call him the swamp rat. Billy does. Went as hard as he could. It was all Martin expected. With a lot of guts, returning with 2 days rest. As we mentioned, his first start in the championship series has had some shoulder problems, and he got on us a little bit today. He said, you guys stop burying me. Everybody around the league, because I am playing out my option, are going to think I've got a sore arm. He said, I'm feeling fine. He said, I wouldn't be able to warm up yesterday and come back today, which he did. Well,
with Al Cowens on at first base, and Cowens can run. Cowens has 16 stolen bases on the year. 1 man out. Kansas City 3, New York 1. Bottom of the third. Otis beat out a bunt his first time up. Cowens draws a throw.
Torres, to be successful, throws a lot of breaking balls. He's got a good curveball, and sometimes he changes speed on it. And that's the kind of pitch that if they're going to go, they're going to try and guess on. Get the breaking ball a little bit slower, might be in the dirt or at least low.
Torres has a deliberate delivery. Strike 1. Otis had a good cut. Cowens had a pretty good jump. I thought he was gone. He took 2 quick steps and then came back. He's got ideas, though, I'll tell you. He's Boris. Shouting encouragement. He coaches at first. Chuck Miller coaches at third for Kansas City. Go. Holding. Strike 2. Good fastball.
Kansas City during the regular season stole 170 bases. To give you a comparison, the Yankees stole just 93 through the 162-game schedule.
Moves him back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Kansas City 3, Yankees 1. There's Chuck Hiller. We're in the bottom of the third. This is it. The winner goes to the World Series. The loser watches it at home. 30 games of spring training and 162 regular season games. And it comes down to 1.
There the Royals go again, continuing to control when that ball is going to be thrown to them.
Tap foul by Amos Otis.
That I'm up here, not down in the field. It is sudden death kind of situation. There's Watson. Players appeared to be relaxed around the batting cage, but that was, a half hour or so before game time.
You can tell whether they're relaxed or not by how early they leave the hotel, and they couldn't wait to get out here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul out of play. I tell you, these fans are really worked out. I went to Mass this morning, Tony, and the priest in church prayed for the Royals. I told him that's not fair. You ought to let the good Lord just watch this game because it's going to be a beauty. I think he considered the Royals his parish team. They are really behind their Kansas City Royals here in the Midwest. And rightly so, because they gave them many a thrill this summer. And they're continuing right through this championship series. They lead right now, 3-1. Bottom of the third, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Cowens at first. Mike Torres in relief of Guidry. Struck him out. Torres just reared back and fired a good old country hard ball and got Otis.
Otis, he was benched the other day when Torres started. Herzog, as we told you before, is not playing against certain pitchers. Torres is one of them. Might have been a reason why right there. He blazed the ball right by him.
Here's Waltham against Mike Torres. lost them on the season, 328. He had 2 home runs. Didn't play much. Beginning part, came on strong. Behind the plate and at first base. Collins a good lead. Outside, ball 1. You can hear that ball pop in Munson's pillow.
Now they got the kind of count that if they want to start Collins, they will. They're ahead. There's the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. So the thing that base-stealing Trent will do, if you may be seeing here, is that Munson keeps calling fastball, staying away from the breaking ball, or he has so far to the last 2 hitters.
Pitch down. I'd have waited. I waited 2-1 if it goes 2-1. You gotta believe Hiller's really going through a ritual down there. He's just finishing up. Collins giving him a good look. Good lead by Collins. There he goes. Foul tip. Boy, I tell you, that is the worst feeling in the world when you pitch out and nothing happens and you got a guy who can run. You almost feel like he's going to go. And you can't do anything about it because if you pitch out again, 3-1. That's right. And that pitcher, boy, he looks at you with such looks.
Hey, you got a 2-2 now. Do you want to go 3-2?
Well, I always felt if you're going to run, well, he's going to run 3-2 with 2 outs. Why not run him now? If he gets thrown out, Waltham leads off, and Rojas is the second hitter. He can play with the bat and move him around. Let's see what happens. Holding. Struck him out. Torres comes in, gets 2 strikeouts, ends the inning. So we complete 3 innings of play here. The score, Kansas City 3, New York 1. Fowler and Bucky dead. Jackson on the bench as Cliff Johnson takes the pitch inside. It was the big news here. A big decision by Billy Martin to bench Reggie Jackson. That he just doesn't hit split arm, and he's had trouble fielding on the artificial surface. So Billy made a move. Off the mask. I know in talking to Reggie, said he would do the interview. He said, "You think it's a big story?" I said, "I think it's a big story, yes." He said, "And it's not going to get any smaller." Whatever that means.
You don't know if Mr. Steinbrenner, the Yankee owner, was in accord with Billy when he made the decision or not.
2 balls and 1 strike. If he is in accord, that could be a story in itself.
Sure was. You pay a guy that kind of dough, and the biggest game of the year for you, you'd want to believe that the owner would want him in there because he put the money on.
But you want to believe that the owner doesn't make out the lineup card either.
What Billy told him.
It's a strike on Cliff Johnson, and he doesn't believe it. But the unfortunate thing about that, when the owner tells you to do something and you don't do what he tells you, you may be in trouble. At any rate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cliff Johnson, 3-1, Royals. That foul, just a split arc through that slow curveball. Patek moved about 5 steps towards the hole.
He does a lot of that. We alluded to that yesterday, and that's the name of Rick Burleson of the Red Sox who does that, but it depends upon when you do it. You do it too soon, the hitter or coach can pick it up. You wait till the pitcher's in his delivery. Looking at the sign right now, trying to get a better angle. Pick up what it is. You'll believe it's a breaking ball. Ball, you had
2 balls and 2 strikes. It's one of those things, if you come to the ballpark, you might want to try on your own. A right-hand batter up there, a slow pitch from a left-hand pitcher. The shortstop will break towards the hole.
Patek, and any slow pitch is also getting a verbal sign to Brett, his third baseman. He'll yell. Now, that would make you believe it's a breaking pitch.
Oh, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 4th, Kansas City 3 and the Yankees 1. Split arp against Torres, who's in relief of Guidry. Split arp against the Yankees, a very good record. Here's a split screen of Patek on the left. And watch, see which way he goes on a delivery. Fastball, stayed planted. Something hard. I was just looking at the screen that time.
That becomes such a valuable weapon for an infielder because on the artificial surface, the way the ball gets through, you had better be playing right. Any little edge you can get like he's doing right now, Patek, and White's the other way with a left-handed hitter. He'll give you that one step where you might just get to a ball.
That was a curveball. Missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Whatever Freddie's doing, he's been doing it right a long time.
Here's the payoff pitch. Line drive foul down the left field line. Billy Martin. His club trailing by 2 is 3-1. Split off against the Yankees was 2-0 in 77, 11-5 lifetime. He beat him a game in the 76 playoffs. 1-0 in the 77. So combined, he's 13-5.
He's the only man on this Kansas City pitching staff who sometime during the year was not put in the bullpen. Everybody else has served a little bit down there. A lot of those in the bullpen have even been a starting assignment, so they've become a very versatile staff. Everything goes with the percentages. You beat a team according to your past history, he's going to start you.
Cliff Johnson, not in any hurry. Remember in Yankee Stadium, he had all the problems with his eyes and then hit one over the center field fence. This time he went back to the pine tar.
Watch the signal, John. We'll see what we can pick up. If anything from Porter, and we'll give you a flash shot of Patek. What was that?
I'd say fastball. Left field, near the line. McRae back. He leaps. He cannot get it. It's in play. It'll be extra bases. It is not a home run. It is a double. McRae got back into the corner, and Johnson thought it might have been a home run. But down the left field line, Russ gets. He watched it all the way, so it's a 2-base hit. Johnson went into his home run trot thinking it was out of here.
Give you an idea how strong he is. The ball just misses going out. McRae goes up. The ball hits on the top of the wooden wall right between where there's a screen in the wall. Watch Johnson, how he reacts to just missing.
He's looking to see. He thought it went over.
Keep watching him.
Nettles swings and misses a fastball. It's strike 1. Kansas City 3. Yankees 1. We're in the 4th. Nobody out. Johnson is on at second.
Now we look for the execution with nobody out from Nettles. Will he get the ball to the right side on the ground?
It's popped up. Foul territory. Brett at third base. 1 out.
Been quite a contrast in the first 4 ball games and the start of this 5th game and the styles of play of hitting anyway, Joel. The Yankees, a free-swinging ball club who seem to be swinging from the heels all the time. The Kansas City Royals giving themselves up time after time.
Well, Splinarf gets himself a big out, and it brings up Chris Chambliss, who bounced out to the shortstop, Patek, who plays almost directly behind the bag. Good shot of how he's lined up, and he's right in a perfect spot. Long throw. They get him. Johnson moves to third, but there are 2 outs.
They have pitched Chambliss so tough this entire series. Just from recollection, Joe, I think he's grounded out the Patek in that area about 5 or 6 times.
Well, he's got 2 today, 1 yesterday, and 1 the day before. So it's about time he tries somebody else. I think Patek can field. And he is a bit disgusted. Paul Blair, he bounced out to the third baseman. George Brett his first time up.
Herzog is the only manager that I know in the big leagues. Some others may do, but I'm not aware of it. Who, after the pitchers compile the pitches during the game, he takes them to his room after every game and then charts them himself.
Inside a slider. What do you mean charts?
He'll take the pitching charts, each pitch that was thrown in the ballgame, what it was, and where it was hit. He'll take those. He has his own set of master cards that he carries in his briefcase. He will then record them for himself. And he said, I do it because Then I don't have to look at it in the game. I've got it committed to memory. So that I can just look out there and say, no, move 2 steps to the left or right or whatever.
2 balls. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Little extra work that he puts in sure pays off, or it has so far.
Well, he's here battling for that right to go to the World Series. And that's what it's all about. Blair chased the fastball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cliff Johnson is on at third. Kansas City leading 3-1. We're in the 4th. 2 clubs really battling. It's popped up. Waltham and White. Frank White takes charge, makes the play. That ends the inning. So the Yankees fail to score in the 4th. We go to the middle of the 4th. It is Kansas City 3, New York 1. Our creepy camera, Roger Harbrough, is on top of the scoreboard. Look where he is. That's the shot you're getting. From atop the scoreboard in deep center field, that's the view you're getting.
Leading off for Kansas City.
And Cookie Rojas. You wonder where the NBC Peacock went? He's at the ballpark. Cookie Rojas, line to left field. Canelo made quite a play. Did he go around? No, says the plate umpire Nick Premigan, and it's ball 1. Rojas, Porter, and White. Bottom of the 4th, Kansas City 3-1. There's the strike. Up the middle, it is a base hit for Rojas. Cookie Rojas, who has announced that he will retire after this season, has just gotten the 4th inning underway with a single to center field. It brings up Porter, who checks Chuck Hiller. Let's see how they play it.
Rojas said that he already has a job at the major league level. Will be a coaching job with someone. It's all set, and it will not be in Kansas City.
He's got to lead it first. Nettles is wide of the bag, not looking for the bunt.
I believe with that hole right there next to Chandler, he's swinging.
Fastball misses, ball 1.
He's primarily a pull hitter, so this is a good situation for Porter, but he can go the opposite way if they stay out there. He'll be trying to pull for that hole now.
Ground ball would mean first and third if he gets it through there. Outside, 2-0. Ron Guidry started. 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for Kansas City. 1-4-0 for the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Straight away center field. Mickey Rivers is going back. Warning track, back. He makes the grab. What a catch he made. And Rojas retraces his steps and heads back to first. Mickey Rivers, a tremendous catch.
So it becomes even more tremendous when you realize how shallow Rivers plays. He has great confidence in going back. He takes the glance. He knows where he's at right now. And that, in this strange ballpark, is something. What a fantastic catch by Rivers. He showed his speed and his knowledge of this ballpark.
And he showed great confidence in finding the fence and then going back and making the play. Saved the run, no doubt about it. So there's one away, and here's Frank White. White flied to left his first time up.
Good hit-and-run situation here with Frank White up.
Pitch out. Thurman thought something was on. Well, the last time Thurman pitched out, the runner broke. So if they're thinking hit and run, this would be a good spot to put it on. Frank White really gave Hiller a lot of time, so the third base coach could put a lot of signs on. Strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Once again, White takes a good look at Hiller. Coaches love that. Hitters keep looking at you even after you've given the signal for the play. Holding. High, 2-1. Batten down the hatches, brother. He's going now.
Your favorite. There's Hiller. Rojas saw limited action this year because Frank White just won the job last year for the second base job. He stole just one base, was caught 3 times. This is a good situation.
Torres is going to tie his shoe.
What you look for in this situation, the hooky does not have that good speed anymore.
I have to laugh, Tony. 45,000 people in the ballpark, national television, and Torres comes up with the bad shoemaker. 2-1. This is manager's delight. If they're going to put a play on, this is where it's going to happen. There he goes. It's fouled off. Oh, they got you in the box. Boy, I wish I could keep a statistic of how many times they run on a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Cookie's looking for something else, the Chuck Killer. White has become a very valuable guy in this lineup. He used to be considered the defensive man only. He has hit well this year.
Rojas is holding. Struck him out. Threw the ball by him. White tried to punch the ball into right field, or at least fight it off. Didn't quite get it done. Here's Kubek, who is 0 for 2. That's the 3rd strikeout for Torres. Two outs. Kansas City leading 3-1. Bottom of the 4th. High, ball 1. Ball 2. The on-deck batter is Hal McRae. McRae is 2 for 2, and he scored 2 runs. There goes Rojas. Didn't even look at him. No chance for Munson. It's a strike. Rojas did that on his own. Torres just looked at him, took it for granted, and away he went.
Torres saw intent on just throwing a strike. You can see he had not even started his motion toward home plate. Cookie was gone. He had about 2 steps, or at least a stride and a half, before Torres even moved toward home plate. Down the right field line, Paul Blair gives it a chase. He'll foul ball. Just barely foul. Ball seemed to die and fade to the right. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Kansas City, you just can't take them for granted. They're on their own. If they get a break, we saw Arizona steal 3rd the other night. Kubek bounced out in the 1st inning. Foul to the catcher. Rojas at second. 3-1. Kansas City leading bottom of the 4th. Outside, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Look at the strike zone that Torres has to work with. Freddie, in spite of his size, is 5'4", as you mentioned, does not walk a lot. He's got over 500 plate appearances this year, just 41 bases on balls. That was during the regular season.
Bouncing ball, Nettles, good grab, long throw. It is in time. That ends the inning. So at the end of 4 complete innings, Kansas City 3, New York 1.
Back in Kansas City, we'll go to the 5th inning, where the Yankees will send up Buck Dent and the leadoff hitter Mickey Rivers and Willie Randolph to face Paul Splittorff. Splittorff, winner of game number 1 of this championship series. Base hit by Dent on the first delivery from Splittorff, so he's on. The Royals lead 3-1. Kansas City coming up with 2 runs in the 1st inning. 1 in the 3rd. The Yankees got 1 in the 3rd. In case you joined us late, a big fight. In the bottom of the 1st, when Brett drove home Hal McRae, slid hard into Nettles, an elbow and a leg flew, and the field was covered for about 10 or 15 minutes with both bullpens, everybody off the bench. Nobody was hurt, nobody was ejected. Remember who was struck out, singled, stole a base, and scored the only Yankee run. One strike. Rivers with a 4-hit day yesterday. 3 hits opening day in the championship series in Yankee Stadium. Chopper could be trouble. Split-off will race to the bag. He tosses it to Watson. He gets it. Watson gets spiked by Rivers. Then advances to second base. Mickey Rivers gave you a taste of the speed he has on that high chopper off home plate. With 10 on first, here's what he did. Split-off knew he could not waste one split second. Look how close Rivers makes it. Half a stride to get him. Defensively, Kansas City has executed so well. Willie Randolph with a walk and a ground out with Dent down at second base. Guidry started for the Yankees, went 2 to third. Torres on now. He misses low with a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Split-off has struck out 1. That was Rivers leading off this ball game. Kopech walks in to retire Randolph as Dent holds at second base. Split-off has struck out 1, as we mentioned, has walked 1.
The catcher.
Bring up Thurman Munson. He drove home the only Yankee run in this ball game.
Only like the yardstick for a pitcher is what does he do with the man on third and less than 2 outs. Those RBIs with 2 outs are the big ones. That's how you measure the hitter. And this guy is just simply tough.
Well, after the 4-game sweep by the Cincinnati Reds of the Yankees, the World Series last year, Sparky Anderson paid Thurman Munson some of the great compliments. In fact, the World Series film that you narrated, they had the conversation with Sparky with his pitcher in the last game after Munson had 4 hits in the last game. And he said, this guy can flat out hit. Be careful.
He must have said that about 10 times.
Oh.
And then Bench said, he can flat out hit.
Royals lead 3-1. There are 2 outs. We're in the 5th inning with Dent at second base. Munson facing Paul Split-arm. Hard slider check swing, 1 ball. There's Dent at second. Split-arm, not much of a strikeout pitcher. Struck out less than 100 during the course of the year, 99 in 229 innings. Got good control spotting the ball, though. Munson doesn't get the run home this time as he grounds out to Frank White. So, 5th runner left on base by the Yankees in this ball game. The score, the Royals 3, the Yankees 1. Well, there's the Kansas City crowd as the Royals lead 3-1, and we go to the last of the 5th. They had your radios on in Kansas City today. I have never heard Happy Birthday sung so many times to Freddie Patek, who's 33 today. And there's John Mayberry, another half of the story. That's Davey Nelson in front of him now. Mayberry out of the lineup today, but Billy Martin knows that he is on the bench and can't pinch it. He's next to Split-arm for the towel. And Whitey Herzog, on the other hand, knows that Billy Martin has a man on his bench who can put this game within reach or out of reach in Reggie Jackson. 1 ball from Torres to Hal McRae. That was Jackson quickly. Good play by Willie Randolph to take a base hit from McRae. The Yankees infield defensively has played well this series, Joe. But there was some problems, and Billy talked about Reggie and right field. He took him out of the lineup. He replaced him with Blair. When that ball's into the outfield, these Royals just keep on going.
It's a good aggressive ball club. A good ball club to watch, the Royals.
George Brett, he has tripled, scored a run. Involved in a fight with Nettles at third base along with all the other players in the both teams. He's also grounded out. 2 balls, no strikes from Torres. Kansas City 3, the New York Yankees 1. 3-0. He's looking down, and I got to believe he's going to look for his pitch. Something Charlie Lau teaches and wail at it. Ball 4. So Brett's on. And it'll bring up Al Cowan.
The right fielder, Al Cowan.
Collins is grounded out. Single to left field. 1 out. Brett can run at first base. One of 7 Kansas City Royals players in double figures with stolen bases. They were led by Patek, who led the league with 53. He's off. Here comes Munson's throw. Way inside. He has got him. Good throw by Thurman. Did he get rid of the ball?
He got rid of it in great shape. The throw is in a good area for Randolph to handle, too. Watch Munson just come out of that crouch. I don't think he expected him to run, but he gets rid of it in a hurry. Right now he gets rid of it. And Randolph makes a good tag.
And that's where Thurman tries to throw the ball to the first base side of the bag where that runner will slide right into it. And that's what he does again, Joe.
That ball's got to get there ahead of the runner, though. If that runner gets between you and the ball, forget it.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs now on Al Cowan. Two and 1.
I must say that after that little flare-up at third base between Brett and Nettles, that was about as polite a slide as we've had this whole series. Usually, one of the infielders is leaving the scene of the accident after the slide.
Give some credit to the umpires, especially the umpire behind the plate, Bremigan, and I guess Springstead, one of the veteran umpires in this crew. They calmed both players down when they got Billy Martin and Whitey Herzog aside and said, okay, let's not make this a beanball war. Let's cool it down. We've had enough. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Collins. Torres, the second Yankee pitcher, relief of Ron Guidry. He jammed him, he fouled it off. You could see last season, near the end of the season, that Al Collins was developing into a fine hitter, which he showed obviously this year, with over 100 RBIs, a 300 batting average. He started becoming more aggressive. Started looking for his pitch when he got it. Really having the good cuts. Swings at fewer bat balls than he did his first year or so. Little chopper, Torres, off his glove. Randolph will have to hurry. He is not in time. And there's going to be another argument. Torres. And Chambliss. Out comes Billy Martin. Torres really went after the first base umpire, Bill Deegan.
Billy, who lost his voice early in this series, is not going to help any because he's going to end up on the short side again. And just watch it.
Al Cowan showed his speed after the ball got by Torres. Randolph made a good play. Billy's been on the umpires most of this series. In fact, he is singled out at times by name, as has George Steinbrenner, a couple of the umpires on this crew.
Oh, that was one of those juicy words, that last one. Here's a replay on it.
Well, that's one angle. We're going to give you another angle.
Center fielder.
There's Torres just missing it. Here comes Randolph into your picture. This one you may be able to tell.
Safe.
It's one of those ties, it appeared. A tie, the ball hits the glove, the foot hits the bag, and a tie, it goes to the runner.
It's safe for me. Right there.
Yep, an excellent call.
Safe.
By Bill Deegan, the first base umpire. It was a tie, and it goes to the runner. Otis is up. Howell's another base to his track. 2 out. Last time up, Otis struck out on a pitch similar to that last high, hard fastball from Torres. They want Collins to go. He's got a bigger lead this time. He's holding. Another chopper could be trouble. He's going to have to go to first base. Here comes the throw. Great play by Randolph and Chambliss. He scooped it out to retire Otis. So, after 5 innings here in Kansas City, it is still the Royals 3, the Yankees 1, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station. Martin, seeking his second consecutive American League pennant, trails 3-1. Next to Reggie Jackson, not playing today, but he is available to pinch hit. Martin has managed at Minnesota, Detroit, Texas, and now New York. Herzog, the other side, has also managed the Texas Rangers. He never managed in the minor leagues at all. Lou Piniella, Cliff Johnson, and Greg Nettles face Paul Splittorff, who struck out 1 and walked 1 so far in this game for the top of the 6th. Piniella with a double and a ground out. Splittorff on the mound today, the all-time Kansas City leader in lifetime victories with 89. He's pitched well in postseason play. 2 wins, no losses. Championship series. Picked up a win in the initial game this year, and he won 1 last year also. Good fastball, 2 strikes. In last year's and this year's championship series between these 2 teams, neither team has ever won 2 games consecutively. Two-strike pitch to Piniella. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Porter, Joe, as we look at him from this angle, has always been considered an exceptional catcher, but he moves in and out a lot. He went away. Piniella went with it. Hits it deep to right field, but not deep enough with Collins out there. He catches anything in the ballpark. 1 out. And some out of the ballpark, as we saw in Yankee Stadium when he jumped above the fence and robbed Rivers of a home run.
One thing that Porter does, Tony, you mentioned moving in and out, he gives a good low target, which, of course, if nothing else, will make the pitcher follow through a little bit more.
Cliff Johnson just missed a home run down the left field line. His last time at bat, he got a double. 1 ball. Johnson DH'ing today. He spent part of his career in the minor leagues as a designated hitter. Was tried as a catcher by Houston. An ideal situation, the American League. 2 balls, no strikes on Cliff Johnson. 1 out. Kansas City leads 3-1. We're at the top of the 6th. Left side of that infield. There is Nettles on deck for the Yankees. Left side of that Kansas City infield for Johnson. Really swings around toward the line. Look at how far Patek is in the hole. He walks him on 4 pitches. Nettles has grounded out and fouled out. He walked him down at first base, signaling his pitcher he will play behind Cliff Johnson with a 2-run lead. Good fastball, 1 strike.
Right field umpires coming in for some reason and calling time.
Now he's moving back. He's yelling something in, Joe. I don't know what it was. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's still yelling across for something. That is Jim McKeon. Something is on the field now. He's finally gotten the attention. The hat gets thrown back into the stands. Canadian-born Jim McKeon, the football player. field goal specialists up in the Canadian Football League. 1-1 pitch to Nettles. 2-1. 4 of the 5 starting pitchers for the Royals have been left-handed. The only right-handed starter was Leonard. The third game, the opening game here in Kansas City. And they have done a job on the left-handed hitting Yankee sluggers. 1 RBI among the 3 of Chambliss, Jackson, and Nettles. To him a curveball. The top 2-1. Whitey Herzog. He came through the Yankee farm system. He got him. He is pitching a good ball game again.
Looks like that curveball for the second strike set up this pitch because he seems to just overpower him.
Fielder, correction. The first baseman, Chambliss.
That'll bring up Chambliss, who's grounded out the shortstop twice in this ball game. Johnson down at first. There are 2 outs. For the 6th inning with Kansas City ahead 3-1. He's ahead of Chambliss very quickly. That crowd chanting on every pitch.
Vatek is right in the same spot he's been the whole series. Not directly behind second, but shading towards the bag.
One and one. The Yankee left-handed hitters have not been able to get the ball in the air that often. Nettles did it a couple of times yesterday. Frank White positioned perfectly to Watson for out number 3. The Yankees strand another runner number 6 to score. The Royals 3, the Yankees 1.
Starting with NFL 77 at 12:30 Eastern Time. It'll be a National Football League doubleheader to most of the country. The Super Bowl champions, the Oakland Raiders, play the Denver Broncos in a game many of you will see beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. You check the listings for the game in your area. 2 o'clock, Cleveland and Houston. Jets at Miami, New England, San Diego, Denver and Oakland, 4 o'clock. Begins with NFL 77 at 12:30 Eastern Time.
The loud roar you hear is not for that sign, but for the pinch hitter being set up. Very popular player, Pete Lecoq. You see what he did to help out this Royals in that late season pennant drive. Came over from the top. 1 strike. He's pinch hitting for Watson. Then it'll be Rojas and Porter. 1 and 1.
This youngster likes to play. When I asked him what he's going to do this winter, he said, continue playing baseball, Winter League.
The Tomahawks 1 foul. The count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. For the last of the 6th. The Royals leading 3-1 over the Yankees. Kansas City with 8 hits. The Yankees 5. Neither team has made an error. Royals came up with 2 very quickly in the bottom of the 1st. Fouled out of play again. Vatek grounded out in the 1st inning, but then McRae singled. Brett tripled. Home McRae. Otis with an infield hit. Single the run home. Let me check that. Cowan to the ground ball. Scored Brett. So Lecoq goes down swinging. Cookie Rojas. Rojas singled the last time up to center field and then stole second base. 1 out. Torres relieved Guidry in the 2nd inning of this ball game. 1 and 1. Final game for the American League Championship to see who'll go to the World Series to play the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won it yesterday in Philadelphia. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Yankees have left 6 runners on base this ball game. Ground ball, Dent, Chambliss, 2 outs. Kansas City has left 5.
The catcher, Darrell.
Dent, he's got a lot of pressure on him this year because with Mickey Stanley, or Fred Stanley at shortstop, the Yankees won a pennant last year. Porter has singled and fly to center field. Two outs, 3-1 ball game. The Royals lead. Deep to left center field. Pinella going back to the warning track. The wind pushes him right back to the wall. Hit well, but in the ballpark. 3 up, 3 down. The score: the Royals 3, the Yankees 1.
5 on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, it was cold last night. You put in a Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone. We need Prestone.
Prestone. You need Prestone.
I got mighty sized in...
They are ready. Kansas City trying to win their first pennant as we look at Pete LeCoq, who has replaced Waltham at first base. Blair bounced out third to first and popped to the second baseman. Strike.
Both Brett and
Pete
LeCoq
remains in the game.
were looking for a bunt on the first pitch to Blair. He likes to tap the ball down third if he's going to bunt.
Deep to left field, but it is curving foul. A foul ball. That ball was hit hard enough to carry, but she curved foul, so it's 2 strikes. Paul Blair was really giving it body English, Tony.
Well, he didn't bail out at all on left-handers. He got hit very severely in the head a couple of years ago on right-handers. You can see him almost getting back on his heels and bailing out, but he still hits lefties pretty good.
2 strikes to count. Disappointed at the ball, curved foul. We watched him. Bouncing ball. Brett, a big hop. Long throw. In time. 1 out. These Kansas City fans start to count it down. There are 8 outs left. If they can get the 8 outs and hold the lead, they will win their first American League pennant. This ballpark will erupt.
This Royals pitching staff has done an excellent job in this series, and Herzog has done an excellent job with his starting pitchers, obviously, 4 left-handers.
Low ball 1. Bucky Dent. Whitey looking on. His club leading by 2. 3-1's the score. Strike.
Herzog knew what he had to do in this series, stop the left-handed hitters. He's done it so far. He's taken this pitching staff, and they've led the American League in earned run average on artificial surface.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Splittorff has walked 2. He has struck out 2. He has allowed the Yankees 5 hits, only 1 run. Fly ball, right field. Collins should have no problem. 2 outs. Look at those Kansas City fans. They are counting down. 7 outs to go. Mickey Rivers, who's had a tremendous series for the Yankees. Rivers struck out in the first. He singled and scored in the third. Tapped back to the pitcher in the 5th. Outside, ball one. George Brett moves in close to third, as he's been doing the whole series.
Rivers hasn't hit one ball on the ground this entire series in that direction that I can recall.
Went after a top limb. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kansas City Royals, who had the longest winning streak in the majors since the 1953 Yankees won 18 in a row. The Royals, from August 31st to September 15, won 16 games. Line foul.
They're a young club, not just in age, but as far as being in the American League. Came into existence in 1969. They finished 4th.
1-2 pitch. Off the handle, 1 hop. White has it. He gets him. 3 up, 3 down. We move now into the bottom of the 7th. And it's Kansas City 3, New York 1. And Hal McRae. Top of the 8th for the Yankees. It'll be Randolph, Munson, and Piniella. Torres, who's done a good job in relief, came on in the bottom of the 3rd to strike out the 2 men to get the 2 outs. Off Nettles and glove. Let's go. They get him. Nice recovery by Greg Nettles.
Nettles usually fields every ball in his direction cleanly. He bobbles this one. Watch out quickly. He pounces on it. He keeps it in front of him. He's playing even with a bag. White will show you his speed, but Nettles also showed you his quickness.
Greg Nettles. Contact takes it high. Ball 1. Torres came on in the bottom of the 3rd. He has struck out 4. He has walked 1. He's allowed 2 hits. He's not allowed a run.
33 years old today, Freddie Patek.
There's the strike. Torres did not relieve during the season. He made 35 starts. He hasn't relieved since 1974 from Montreal. But what a job he's done for the Yankees, keeping them in the game. But the Royals lead 3-1. Patek, fly ball, right field. Blair makes the play. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Hal McRae.
Call the stadium operator, please. The left fielder, Hal McRae.
McRae singled and scored in the 1st inning, doubled and scored in the 3rd, and lined hard at the 2nd baseman in the 5th. Top of the 8th, it'll be Willie Randolph, Thurman Munson, and Lou Piniella for the Yankees. All 1. Kansas City, 6 outs away from their first pennant. Yankees trying to prevent it. Another base hit for McRae. He makes a big turn. He's digging for second. Here's the tag. Got him. McRae thought the element of surprise was going to catch the Yankees. It did not, as Bucky Dent took the throw from Piniella and put the tag on McRae. So at the end of 7 complete innings, Kansas City 3, New York 1.
With thoughts on the ball hit the left field, just kept on going right from the home plate. You can see Randolph telling Dent, who was a little bit surprised. I gotta believe that Bucky Dent was expecting more than a little plate slide right there, the way things have been going around that bag.
There's the strike. I tell you, you'll be able to tell what's going on by the crowd reaction. Off the end of the bat, it's a base hit, a broken bat single by Randolph, and of course a 3-1 score every time they get a base runner on. That tying run comes to the plate. You can see the crowd just go right down with that base hit.
You can see Bobby Cox, the first base coach, saying a line drive, make it go through. Do not get doubled off. For the first time today, the Royals bullpen has started. Here comes Herzog. He's got a right-hander and a left-hander. He said he would go to Bird at the first sign of trouble or weakening on Paul Splittarf.
Well, a young left-hander did quite a job, and we have a break in the action here with the score Kansas City 3, the Yankees 1. We're in the top of the 8th. Doug Bird
He's been in 2 ball games before this in the championship series, unscored upon, but he's been the ace out of the bullpen, as you see by that. Your run average is not that impressive. But he came on late in the season.
Low, ball 1.
Herzog, there's Reggie warming up.
The on-deck batter is Piniella. Johnson is the designated hitter. He follows Piniella in the lineup. Randolph at first. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. 3-1. Kansas City leading. Top of the 8th. For Doug Bird, his 3rd game in this series. 1 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 2 hits. 11-4 during the season. He had 14 saves. Earned run average of 3.88.
And 2 men get up again down in Herzog's bullpen. Strike 2. Along with Littell and Leonard, he throws about as hard as anybody on this staff. There's Herzog, a hard fastball, a hard slider, and Bird does have a palm ball. He uses that as an off-speed pitch.
Took him out. Doug Bird gets Munson. 1 away. And Piniella wants to talk to Munson about what he's throwing him. Quite a conversation going on, and Munson passes on whatever he can, and Reggie Jackson is coming out of the dugout. He'll be the pinch hitter for Cliff Johnson.
Piniella wanted to know from Munson, what's his fastball doing? He knows he throws hard, but is it sinking today? Is it running in on you? And that last one really ran in on him, Joe.
Right at the belt buckle. There is Reggie Jackson, who was benched. Paul Blair played right field, but with 1 out. Randolph at first. Reggie Jackson will be a pinch hitter, but right now it's Lou Piniella.
Herzog said he would use all of his pitchers. He would try not to use Leonard, but Leonard's warming up now. Maybe for just 1 or 2 hitters.
There's a base hit in the center field off the end of the bat. Randolph is going to head for 3rd. There he goes. It's 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Reggie Jackson is the pinch hitter. Jackson has 1 hit and 14 times a bat in this series. His hit was in the 2nd game.
Now remains to be seen, will Whitey Herzog let his top relief pitcher, even though he's right-handed, face Reggie Jackson? They're waiting for him to be announced officially in the lineup, and we'll see then if Hersey makes a move.
Your attention, please. Batting for the designated hitter Johnson.
Reggie Jackson, his 25th championship series game, which is a record. He has never missed a big game, but he came close to missing this one, but he's in there now. Whitey Herzog looking on as Doug Bird gets his sign. Low, ball 1.
Jackson has not driven a run in this championship series this year. He is 1 for 14, 1 run scored. His only hit was a single.
1 ball, no strikes. 3-1, Kansas City leading, top of the 8th, 1 out. Foul tip. Bird challenging with the fastball. 1-1 the count. Randolph at 3rd. Piniella is at first, the tying run. The tiebreaker in the batter's box, Reggie Jackson. Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bird threw the ball right by Munson to strike him out. He had that fastball by Jackson.
Deep to center field. Otis comes in. It drops in front of him. It's trapped. Everybody is safe, and Randolph will score. It's a 3-2 ball game. The ball was trapped by Otis, and Reggie Jackson gets a big base hit. And it's a 3-2 ball game.
In an extreme pressure situation, Reggie Jackson does the job. His 2nd base hit of the championship series, but with Otis playing deeply, he could not catch the ball. Big hit, 1st and 2nd now. and another pitcher.
So Doug Bird leaves.
Bengori had been warming up in the bullpen along with Leonard.
The windup. Here's a bouncing ball. Dent, a big hop. The long throw. 1 out. Blair, Dent, and Rivers are the scheduled hitters for the Yankees in the ninth.
ALCS.
This Royals team has done everything so well, and they finished with such a flourish in the American League's Western Division when they broke it open in August after a tight 4-team race. But that's one of the reasons, that solid defense around that second base bag, Joe.
We have seen some great plays. Patek himself made a great play in the first inning on Randolph. And that play by White, no doubt about it that the tying run would score. Chambliss hit the ball hard. Outside, ball 1.
I believe Jackson, there's Reggie, would have scored also, because that ball was in right center field all the way to the wall on this artificial surface, and he can run, and he'd have been all the way home.
Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. In the top of the ninth for the Yankees, their do-or-die inning. It'll be Blair, Dent, and Rivers, the scheduled hitters.
That guy there has done a job since he relieved Ron Guidry, the starter.
3-2, Kansas City leading. There's a line drive left center field, but Rivers is there. He closed the gap in a hurry, so there are 2 outs. This brings up Amos Otis as Billy Martin takes a look at that scoreboard, which tells him that they trail by 1. They've got 1 more inning to do it, if they're going to do it. The Royals battling hard, trying to win their first American League pennant. This crowd behind them all the way. Otis beat out a bunt in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. Makes it high, ball 1.
Torres grew up in this area, the pitcher on the mound for the Yankees now. In Topeka, has about 30 or 40 of his relatives and friends at the ball game today.
Right. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They're working on Freddie now, Joe. They may still try and get him ready and bandage that up or whatever they have to do if there is a gash. I believe there's a doctor on the bench now. Not just the trainer, but a doctor looked at it. He may even put some stitches in it if it's a bad gash. See if Freddie can come back out.
It's all possible. He'll be back.
He's come too far, hasn't he?
Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Patek looks like he's ready to play. He's putting a sock on. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blair, Dent, Rivers for the Yankees, scheduled in the 9th. Outside, 3-2 at the full count. The on-deck batter is Pete Lecoq. Kansas City 3, Yankees 2, bottom of the 8th. 3-2, 2 outs. Ball 4, Amos Otis draws the base on balls. It brings up Pete Lecoq. And you know that Whitey Herzog is watching this, but he's also checking his scorecard to see who will be batting for the Yankees, and there they are. Paul Blair, Bucky Dent, Nicky Rivers are scheduled. And Billy Martin has come out of the Yankee dugout. You look at the list of pinch hitters that Billy Martin might send up. Reggie Jackson's gone. He's out of the game. He did not go out defensively, but he's got Roy White, who's steady, Fred Stanley, George Seaburn, infielder, Mickey Klutz, and Fran Healy. Billy Martin just out talking to his pitcher. I'm sure going over pitching strategy.
Oh, I want to take something back. Reggie's still in the ballgame because he's now the DH. Had to have Dave Meister from the commissioner's office standing behind me tell me that.
2 outs. He's the cock. There goes the runner. Pitch out. The throw is not in time. Amos Otis steals the base. It was not a good pitch out. It was high, and Munson had to first catch the ball and then get rid of it. So Amos Otis steals the base. Here it is.
Like Rojas earlier, Odie gets a good jump off Torres. A quick throw right on the money from Munson, but not in time.
Billy Martin shifting his defense. Ball 1 on Pete LeCoq. Fouls it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Billy right then was moving Willie Randolph closer to the bag, alerting him that Otis may try for third base. He stole it with 2 outs earlier in this series.
Elston Howard, the walkie-talkie, Billy Martin and Art Fowler. Go inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Fans behind home plate reacted to what was going on in the Royals dugout. Just trying to read what the fans' reaction was. That Patek is all right. There he is. Inside, 3-1. Walking around, he's got a spike injury, but he's limping just a bit, trying to stay loose and get it loose. Strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kansas City 3, Yankees 2, bottom of the 8th. Ball 4. And here comes Billy Martin.
He's called in the left-hander. Rojas is the scheduled hitter. I got to believe if Torres stayed in the ballgame, and Billy knows it, that it probably would have been Mayberry to hit for Rojas. Rocky Lylon. 8 innings. The championship series has done exceptionally well.
Crowd would like to pick up an insurance run. It's on at second base in the person of Amos Otis. Pete LeCoq is on at first. There are 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, Kansas City 3, Yankees 2. Top of the 9th, it's Blair, Dent, and Rivers for the Yankees. Strike 1. Cookie, respecting Sparky's control, jumped on that first pitch as Otis heads back to second. Rojas has hit the ball hard tonight. He has 1 hit. High. 1-1.
If the Yankees come back and win, it would be the man next to him who might open the World Series. That's Figueroa.
Foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
These teams and these 2 managers have been so evenly matched throughout the year. Joe mentioned before this ball game started, they split the season series. They split the championship series 2 games apiece. And right down to the wire again.
Bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cookie Rojas waiting. Him out. Sparky Lyle gets Cookie Rojas. That ends the 8th inning. And for the Yankees, it'll be Blair, Dent, and Rivers in their do and die inning. It's Kansas City 3, Yankees 2 as we go to the 9th. And there is Patek. And listen to this crowd. So Whitey Herzog goes to the ace to nail it down. It'll be the first pennant ever for Kansas City, and Whitey Herzog is shooting the works. Started to thank the people who have been so helpful. Mr. and Mrs. Ewing Kaufman, Dean Vogelarm, Brian Burns of the Kansas City Royals, George Steinbrenner, Gabe Paul, Mickey Morabito, and the entire Yankee organization, entire Royals organization. And a special thanks to Alan Roth, who's been our statistician throughout the playoffs, championship series, and also during our game of the week. And a big thank you from Tony and me to all our engineers, our cameramen, our secretaries in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, just all of you who are behind the scenes and very rarely get the credit. We thank you. And I'll tell you, these first 9 days of this month, NBC Sports, I'll tell you, they will have telecast an unprecedented 26 live sporting events involving over 1,000 technicians and production personnel. Heavyweight championship fights, playoffs, football, all here.
Billy Martin a little strapped off the bench. I'm sure against Leonard, the right-handed, he would like the pinch hit for Blair. Blair is hitting, but Roy White has come on deck for 10.
All Blair against Dennis Leonard. Ball one. This crowd will tell you what's happening. Leonard relieved once during this season. His first game of the year on April 9th. What a job he did the other night.
But Leonard in game number 3, who checked the Yankees with 4 hits for a victory. Second in the American League to Nolan Ryan in strikeouts.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brother, if you were walking outside this ballpark, you would know what was happening. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. This crowd really, you can feel it. This ballpark is charged. Blair, a pinch hitter, Roy White, and Mickey Rivers. Dennis Leonard trying to protect a 1-run lead. Popped up. Is it playable? Lecoq. No, it'll be in the stands. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whitey Herzog. Off with the cap. On with the cap. Dennis Leonard. Did he go around? No. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not just the crowd reacting every pitch. You can watch these infielders and outfielders, and they are really, really tense.
Looped foul, out of play. Count remains at 2-2. Roy White on deck. Billy Martin remembers that when Leonard pitched the 4-hitter in game 3, it was Roy White who got 2 of the hits, both doubles. Nettles and Piniella got the other 2 hits. There's George Brett. That's his locker. Looped into center field. It drops for a base hit. The tying run is on. Paul Blair singles to center field, and now Roy White looks at Dick Hauser. He's going to go down and talk to him. No margin for error here.
And a clutch base hit by Blair, who was in the spotlight today when he went out to right field for the start of this ball game in place of Reggie Jackson. The old pro comes through. He's got speed.
Number 6, Roy White.
Roy White. Brett is in a couple steps at third. We're in the ninth. Mickey Rivers, the on-deck batter. Kansas City 3. New York 2.
Stadium Butcher, call the stadium operator, please.
Time is called. There's a banner in right field. They're going to ask the fans to remove it from the railing, which they do.
You couldn't have a better guy down at first base to carry it for you. He is an excellent base runner.
Ball one. Dodgers have won the National League pennant. I'm sure watching the game between these Kansas City Royals and the Yankees. 3-2, Kansas City leading. Blair gets back. Ninth inning. Toughest 3 outs in baseball.
And the old baseball axiom right here. You try to tie it home and win on the road, and it remains to be seen whether or not Roy White will be bunting. He didn't offer the first time. Billy not going for the sacrifice. He's going for the win. Outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now Roy White checks with Dick Hauser with Blair at first base. Will Billy Martin turn Roy White loose? Mickey Rivers on deck.
The Royals defense wound as tight as strings. They're ready to move on every pitch. Ball 3.
Now Porter, a bit nervous, goes out to talk to the ace pitcher, Dennis Leonard. And let's pause briefly for station identification. It's the NBC television network.
This is KGW-TV, Channel 8, Portland.
Three balls, no strikes, nobody out. 3-2, Kansas City leading, top of the ninth. Strike.
Leonard start in game 3. He walked this one in 9 complete innings. An excellent control most of the year.
Bobby Cox reconfirming the sign to Paul Blair at first. Holding. Strike 2. Here comes as big a pitch as there has been thrown in this game. Is Blair running at first? Roy White usually makes contact, but it could be a strike him out, throw him out situation. It's a decision Billy Martin has to make. Blair's running. Foul back. And it was a straight steal, brother. He just had his head right glued on second base.
That is showing a lot of confidence in this situation in your hitter, Roy White. During the season, White struck out 56 times and 519 official at-bats. He's choked out on the bat. Wants to make contact.
Out, Kansas City 3, Yankees 2, top of the ninth. Blair's running. Foul back. He started again.
Hotek was the man covering. You can see him over at second base now. That left side of the infield for White was wide open as Freddie left to cover the bag. Gutsy little guy came right back in the ball game after that hard collision and spike. Reggie Jackson tried to beat out a play at second base.
Blair running. All 4. White draws the base on balls. The tying run is in scoring position. Mickey Rivers is the batter.
Here comes Herzog. He's got a left-hander and a right-hander throwing in his bullpen. Littell has been throwing. Gura has been throwing.
The city, Whitey Herzog, after Blair looped the single and White walked, went to his left-hander. Whitey brought in his ace, Dennis Leonard, to try to nail it down.
This is one of these deals where Gura will come in to face one hitter, Rivers.
Gura started yesterday. He pitched 2 innings. He left with none out in the third. He was the loser. Rivers doubled and singled in his 2 times at bat against Gura. We've had all kinds of meetings. You would think that this would be a bunt situation, and of course that makes the base runner at second base vulnerable to a pickoff. Frank White and Patek were talking. Now Patek and Brett are talking. the two outfielders, McRae and Otis, are left center field. Their meeting's just breaking up.
Excuse me, Joe.
I started to say Martin and Hauser had a meeting.
Gotta believe Rivers up there for one reason. The left-hander gets left-handed pitcher, sacrifice the runner second and third. Herzog's then got to make the choice, probably to come in with Littell to pitch to a string of right-handers, Randolph, Munson, and Piniella, if it comes to that far.
The center fielder, Mickey Rivers.
Blair is at second base. White is at first. Mickey Rivers is the batter. Nobody out. Top of the ninth. Kansas City 3, New York 2. And look at George Brett. He's right in checking Rivers' nostrils.
Look at Patek. He's almost playing third base. I've never seen this defensive alignment, the defensive bunt. Sometimes the shortstop will come all the way over to third to make the play as the third baseman charge. Another conference, Hauser and Rivers. In this case, they're just leaving third base bag open. Brett way up, and Patek is playing like he's in on the grass if there was grass. Blair has good speed. He can beat Freddie there.
Doubly dangerous because that ball really bounces off the artificial surface. Ball one.
He might be swinging, too, with this defensive alignment.
He was. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They're going to give this little guy that many holes. The way he chops down on the ball, Billy's going to let him hit, because it looks almost impossible to try and sacrifice the runners over.
Ball 2. No way, if he bunts the ball towards the third base line, is Blair going to make it to third. Brett is right in on top of him.
The cop now favors Mickey Rivers, 2-1. Brett is breathing right down his throat.
2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch. Now Brett backs up.
That defensive alignment forced Billy Martin out of the bunt situation. Brett intimidated Rivers. Martin took the bunt off.
Base hit, right field. Here comes Blair. Collins is up. Score is tied. Heading for third is Roy White. Mickey Rivers, his second base hit of the ninth. He's been on a rampage throughout this series. Ties it up for New York on a 2-2 pitch, and here comes Whitey Herzog.
Rivers has had 2 hitless games in this series, but he's had one with 3 hits. Yesterday, 4 hits. Martin's going to have another conference with Hauser down at third base. Cox talking with Rivers. So Rivers, that's a clutch hit when they forced him out of the bunt situation.
Whitey Herzog has made his decision. Gura has left. Mark Littell has been throwing in the Kansas City bullpen. Tied.
The 6th Kansas City Royals pitcher, Splittorff, was breezing along. Bird came in the 8th. Mingori, Leonard, Gura, now Littell.
Boy, a tough inning for Whitey Herzog. He has done all he could possibly do. He's got to have a Windsor knot right in the middle of his stomach right now. Whatever he's getting paid, he earned it tonight. As we look at Reggie Jackson and Cliff Johnson. Jackson was the pinch hitter for Johnson, designated hitter.
And a big pinch hit he got to keep this thing going.
Littell's a strikeout pitcher. During the season, he struck out 106 in 105 innings.
Infield's in, Joe. A few times the Yankees have had the pressure on the Royals defense.
Roy White at third. Rivers at first. High, ball 1.
Great relief performance by Mike Torres. Looks bigger and bigger.
Outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Randolph takes a look at Hauser. Munson is the on-deck batter. Base runners at first and third. Nobody out. Score is tied. Top of the 9th. Yankees 1 in the 8th. So far 1 in the 9th. Strike.
Well, you let Rivers go in a tie ball game with nobody out. It's a good count. He's been reading Littell for his first base spot.
It's obvious that White would have to cover because Patek is more towards the hole than towards the bag.
What a hole between White and Lecoq.
Three and 1. Now Dick Hauser flashes his signs. The decision Billy Martin would make.
Couldn't get a better ball game than this to close out our season, could you?
Oh, brother. Straight away center field. It'll be deep enough. Rivers is tagging at first, way back at the warning track. Here comes White. Rivers heads for second. Yankees take the lead, 4-3. A sacrifice fly by Willie Randolph. And look at that Yankee bench.
This is the quietest this Royals crowd has been all 3 ball games in this stadium. What a job by Randolph. And Rivers with his base running.
Munson is the batter with Rivers on at second base. That ball was hit to the warning track. Rivers moves in the scoring position and also stays away from the double play.
They're yelling at Littell to keep his eye on Rivers with 1 out. He may try and steal. He's got a big lead down there.
In the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Porter, White, and Patek for these Kansas City Royals. Bouncing ball. Patek will have to go to first. In time, Rivers moves to third. So there are 2 away. Rivers in third. And Lou Piniella is the batter. Yankees have taken the lead with a run in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. They lead 4-3. Porter, White, and Patek will be the 3 batters for Kansas City as Galen Cisco comes out of the Royals dugout.
6 pitchers used by the Royals. The Yankees have used 3.
We went to the 8th. Yankees picked up a run in the 8th and 2 here in the 9th. And Littell trying to put the fire out. Yankees have taken the lead by 1.
Herzog has used 6 of the 9 members of his pitching staff. He has Patton, who pitched a lot yesterday, left, Hassler and Colburn. The 2 of them are warming up.
Bouncing ball, Brett to his left, has it, here's the throw. Hey! High! Rivers scores, and Piniella will go to second as Brett throws the ball away, and it's a 5-3 ball game.
An awful big insurance run now. An awful big insurance run. Brett went well to his left. He knew he had a lot of time on Piniella. He gunned it, but the ball took off. Look at how much time. George Brett throws it away. Here comes Rivers, the 5th run. That takes away a couple important things. If the Royals get somebody on, a sacrifice, for instance, less likely to steal.
Reggie Jackson, the batter, with the Yankees out in front, 5-3. Top of the 9th. Strike 1. Jackson came on as a pinch hitter, drove in a run in the 8th when he singled to center field. Drove in Randolph.
Biggest cheerleader right there was Billy Martin, who benched him today, cheering him on.
Bouncing ball. White has it. The first ends the inning. And for Kansas City, it'll be Porter, White, and Patek in the bottom of the ninth. It's New York 5, Kansas City 3. Touchdown for the Yankees is Fred Stanley.
The catcher, Darrell Porter.
Darrell Porter will lead it off. Porter has hit the ball hard. He singled in the second inning, robbed of a base hit. Great catch by Rivers in the fourth, and fly deep to left in the sixth. Sparky Lyle, who was the hero for the Yankees yesterday, came on to strike out Rojas to end the eighth inning. Thus face Porter, White, and Patek, the three scheduled hitters. Yankees lead 5-3. Popped up. Fred Stanley calling for it. One out.
The second baseman, Frank White.
Frank White. White flying to left in the second, struck out in the fourth, and bounced out third to first in the seventh. Sparky, as we look at the Yankee bench for the second day in a row, called upon in a real clutch relief situation. Strike two. Along with Raleigh Fingers, now in San Diego, he has seen this situation probably as much as anybody in baseball. Base hit, center field. Nine runners up the plate. And here is Fred Patek, and what an ovation he'll get. Freddie Patek, so far 0 for 4. It's his first hitless game. All 5 games last year and 4 this year, he's been able to get a base hit. A tough competitor. The tougher the spot, the tougher he becomes. Yankee bullpen is going full speed. Strike one. Tip throw right-hander is throwing for Billy Martin. Gullett, who was not expected to pitch after the opening game, is up and throwing also. Strike two. 2 strikes to count on Patek. Frank White is in first base. The on-deck batter is Hal McRae, who has 3 base hits tonight. 5-3. New York leading bottom of the ninth. Bouncing ball. Nettles goes to Randolph. 1 over to first. In time. Double play. The ball game is over. The Yankees win the American League pennant. And with their joy, Patek is down along the first base line, head down, I'm sure in tears, as we look at the jubilant Yankees, but Patek is yet to move at first base. There you see him, and that says it all for the Kansas City Royals and their stunned fans as the Yankees defeat the Royals 5-3 to win the American League pennant. A little guy, Freddie Patek, who had the best all-around series of anybody, and Sparky Lyle, who did it yesterday, did it again today. There goes Freddie. A great series, a great double play turned by Willie Randolph under extreme pressure with Frank White bearing down on him. The Yankees, jubilant, winning 2 consecutive games here in this stadium, which has not happened too often to Kansas City. Paul Blair, the veteran, the big hit, leading it off. Another veteran, Roy White, as we go to the Yankee clubhouse. Here they come, Jackson, Rivers, Holtzman, Piniella, who had a good series. There's Mickey, Randolph, there's the Cat. Torres, just to the right of your screen, out of your picture, had a great relief performance today. Alley and Reggie. Alley was the guy who told Reggie before the ball game that he will not be in the starting lineup today. Chambliss, Fred Stanley, Dent,
Freddie Patek, who played his heart out.
It's a broken heart, and you can't help but go out for this little guy because I think he's symbolic of this Kansas City team. They came so close to winning the first pennant ever, and these fans stunned just like little Patek. But there it is, 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for New York, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for Kansas City. The winner is Lyle, the loser is Leonard, and for Lyle, that's his second win in 2 days, Tony.
Well, Billy Martin will take his club to the World Series for the second consecutive year, a man whose job has been on the line off and on all year long, but he managed this series under a lot of pressure, the pressure of today's removal of Jackson, the pressure of his owner, George Steinbrenner, all year, but he never panicked.
And so it'll be the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees in the World Series. So this is Joe Garagiola saying goodbye for Tony Kubek from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, where the Yankees defeat the Royals 5-3 to win the American League pennant. Game 5 of the championship of the American League was brought to you by Dodge and your local Dodge dealer, who announced Magnum, Diplomat, and Aspen, the cars that are out to carnap you this year. And by Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life.